I hope this video makes you uncomfortable. I look at this as a mirror. You get to look yourself in the mirror and ask hard and tough questions. What am I doing every single day with my life, creating obstacles, challenges, and distractions for myself? Creating distractions for myself because of all of this pressure that I live under, trying to make all of these people think that I'm doing it big.
Pull yourself together and quit tripping, cause you in the process. God is processing you. He ain't through with you. If he was through with you, you would not wake up in the morning. He gonna fix it.
The more weird you are is a reflection of how committed you are to focusing on your shit, molding and shaping your ideas and your craft so that when it's time for you to make your rounds, you gonna fly. Stop running around here trying to live up to the hype, homie. I'm just keeping it real, man.
If that's what it is, you owe it to yourself to start strategically working to change directions. Most people will resist change. Most people will fight change as if change would be worse than what they're experiencing.
It's not what happens that determines your life future. It's what you do about what happens. All of us are in like a little sailboat. And it's not the blowing of the wind that determines your destination, it's the set of the sail.
If all you do is stay in little-minded, muddy mud puddles of small thinking, you'll never grow any bigger. And some of you, it's time to get out of the mud puddle and get into a lake. And some of you need to get out of the lake and get into the ocean and let God release your potential.
See, here's what's amazing. At any point in your life, you can just decide to write a new script. You can decide to become a whole new character. See, the leading character in the story of your life is you. And guess what? You and God control the script. You can simply decide to be a new character. I'm strong now. I'm beautiful now. I'm handsome now. I'm bold now. I'm funny now. I'm smart now.
You're so busy reaching out to your future that you are neglecting what you have been given right now. Oh God, you are so busy trying to progress that you are neglecting where you are. That's not how you progress.
This word is hard on the narrow road. Does not mean that it's impossible, but it strictly means that it is beset with difficulties. You will be pressed on that road. And in order for you to say yes to some things, you got to say no to a lot of other things.
Master where you are, and then you get promoted to where you're going. You don't neglect where you are, trying to reach after where you're going. Because if you learn how to do great things in a small place, you're going to do great things in a larger place, and you're going to be great over here.
Opportunity mixed with difficulty. Now, sometimes there seems to be more opportunity than difficulty, and then sometimes there seems to be more difficulty than opportunity, but the mix isn't going to change. After expansion comes recession. But after recession comes expansion. Not to think so, see, is naive. And once you've got just a little of this stuff settled, then you know exactly what to do. You know exactly what to anticipate, so you can be ready.
You can never shine trying to sit on someone else's sun. You can never figure out who you are if you're consumed in everything that everybody else is and what they're doing and the moves that they're making. There is a saying that you have to fake it until you make it. Most of y'all have been faking it for so long, you're never gonna make it. Most of y'all have been faking it so long, you now believe your own tricks. Most of y'all have been living a lie for so long that you believe your own lies because you're trying to chase someone else's life.
There's something in you, in your heart of hearts, that said, I'm not going to let anybody pull my strings. That said, I'm going to control my own personal economy. That said, I've got a dream I want to achieve. That said, I am the captain of my ship. That said, I'm going to control my destiny. And whatever it takes, I'm willing to do the work.
In the morning, devour something. Throw your whole self at something. You'll never know what you can do and what you can be until you throw your whole self at it. Devour it. I mean, devour it. Don't try it. Devour it. Attack it. Attack it like you're going to kill it. Devour the prey. And in the evening, you divide the spoils. We have it backwards today. We want to divide the spoils in the morning. So we're blinging when we ought to be devouring. See, don't worry about whose name you wear when you're young. Worry about your name.
What is the vision for your life? What are the ideas and the dreams for your life? What are you supposed to be doing? Who are you? What are your gifts and talents? What is your ultimate destiny and your goals? God will never give you something somebody else is supposed to have.
There is an old person down inside of you that's dependent on you to be smart. It's the person you're going to be 30, 40 years from now. Do not disappoint that person by being foolish through the strongest years of your life. And then when your back is out and your knees are swollen and you can't move around, now you're out there going to get your grind on now?
When I'm in a storm, I'm trying to gain control. But God's message to all of us whenever we feel like we are in a storm is not to keep control, but to keep courage. You keep courage and God will take control. He's going to get you through this storm. You just got to keep courage.
If you get too tightly zoomed into this one scene or this one moment or this one struggle or this one issue, you're going to miss the bigger picture. God knows where to put you. He knows what he put in you. And he knows what he wants to do through you.
How do you keep the faith? How do you keep your head above water? How do you march against the tide? How do you stand up when everybody around you seems to be falling down? How do you keep firm and solid footing when everything underneath you seems to be slipping away? How do you keep the faith? You've got to be born again. And when you're born again, there are some things you just have to take. Just some things you have to stand up under. There's just some fights you're going to have.
If your friends judge you for being real, they're not true friends. A true friend will accept you for who you are, faults, weaknesses, shortcomings, and all. And people that judge you are not being honest with themselves. They're just wearing their mask, hoping that you don't notice. Everybody is dealing with something. There are no perfect people. But we live in a society that stresses image. It tells us if we don't have it all together, if you don't wear the latest, drive the latest, then you're less than. This creates all kinds of pretending, trying to impress. And that may feel strong, but in fact, it's weak. If you can't be honest with yourself, if you have to hide your struggles, act a certain way to keep up your image, that's going to keep you from your full potential. God is not looking for the ideal you, the pretend you, the future you. He's looking for the real you.
Only quality people. As you think about your goals and dreams, this is not for everybody. You want to build an organization with only quality people. Not people who need more, but people who want more. You want to surround yourself with people that are hungry. People that are hungry are willing to do the things today others won't do in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. If you do what is easy, always looking for a way to give yourself a pass, to let yourself off the hook, to do what everybody else is doing, a job, the journey of the broke. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But there's something in you that says, you know, I can't do this. I can't do this anymore.
It's not what you are that holds you back. It's what you think that you are not. That's what holds you back. You cannot always control circumstances, but you can always control your own thoughts. Nothing changes until your mind changes. Information does not bring transformation. Conversion does.
You can't be distracted by things that are keeping you from your purpose. You don't have time to waste worried about what people think about you. Your time is too valuable to respond to every critic. Those are distractions. Everyone is not going to like you. Quit trying to convince someone to understand you that's determined to misunderstand you.
You can't get to second base and keep one foot on first. You've got to let go to grow.
I don't care how many people love you and encourage you, or the ones that try to tear you down or destroy you. When God has a dream for you, it is your dream. Your dream.
You know, when death finds me, I want it to find me climbing up a new mountain and not sliding down an old one. That's powerful stuff, and that's the attitude you've got to have. So my question to you is, what else is in you? What else is calling you? What else do you feel you can bring into this world, you can produce? Or are you satisfied where you are?
What you focus on, what you concentrate on, once your eyes are fixed on that, it begins to energize you and you begin to see the possibility of making it happen. What's your target? What's your goal? Whatever it is, focus. Trust me, the energy will come.
I don't have time to play petty games to try to convince you that I'm okay. Life is too short to try to have peace with people that don't want to have peace with you. Some of your relatives, you love them, but you have to love them from a distance. Don't frustrate yourself trying to make things happen that they don't want to happen.
And so when you look at yourself, look at your goals, there's a reason we are taught, judge not according to appearances. Don't judge yourself based upon your past. Your past has nothing to do with you right now. It's in the past. Let it stay there. Don't bring it up front.
In other words, there were behaviors and thoughts you've had in the past that were needed to produce the results you currently have. But you need to stop what's no longer needed. Maybe you're continuing a thought or a worry that at one time was needed, but no longer is. It could be something to protect yourself from fear, to protect yourself from harm, or to serve you in getting through a certain circumstance.
As you begin to look at yourself and look at where you want to go with your life, it's very important for you to ask yourself a question as you look at various areas of your life. Is what you are doing, is it giving you what you want? If it's not giving you what you want, it's going to take courage to decide to do something differently. It takes courage to enjoy yourself.
God didn't bring you in this world to be average. God didn't bring you in this world to wake up and die one day and just be another person that lived and died and didn't do anything significant in this world.
You have the right and the power within yourself to choose the direction you want to go. But in the process of making that choice, understand that God is sovereign, and when everything is said and done, he will have his way.
You're still alive, so therefore God is not done with you. You're still here. God has a plan for your life.
Everything you're going through is preparing you for what you ask God for. You just got to quit tripping while you're in the process, because the process is necessary. You may not see it now, but when he gets you on the other side of it, you're going to see exactly why it went that way, and you're going to be okay with it. Pull yourself together and quit tripping, because you're in the process. God is processing you. He ain't through with you. If he was through with you, you would not wake up in the morning. He gonna fix it.
You don't have to lose your faith. just because God didn't say yes to what you requested him to do. You don't have to have a nervous breakdown, a pity party, throw in the towel just because you didn't get the job, didn't get the house, didn't get the healing, didn't get what you wanted from the Lord.
Do you realize the percentage chance of you being born when you were born to do what you do, and you're gonna walk around in self-doubt trying to figure out if God chose you? You ought to know God chose you. You ought to believe God chose you, and you ought to go through your life with your head held high no matter what is in your bank account, because I'm chosen.
We don't need faith to direct us when everything falls into place. We need faith to sustain us when all hell is breaking loose. I don't need you to tell me how to act when I get healed. I need to teach me how to survive when I don't get healed. I don't need you to tell me how to shout when I got a new job, a new house, a new car. I got enough sense to be happy when things go right, but teach me how to be happy when all hell is breaking loose. Things are getting bad instead of better. Teach me how to stand when it's raining down on my face, and tell me how to keep trusting God when he says no.
When you ask God for something, quit tripping. He got it from him. Well, Lord, if I could just stay with him a little bit longer. Maybe you don't need him. Maybe he the reason you ain't got nothing now. Well, I don't want to leave him because I've been with him 8 years. Well, hold up. Whoa. You want 8 more years of this? The only reason I'm telling you this, because this is how I made it. I just do me. I'm just being me. I stay uniquely who I am, because you are okay just the way you are, because God made you uniquely who you are. He wanted you to be just like you are.
God won't bless who you pretend to be. He looks beyond the mask, beyond the superficial. Being vulnerable is not a weakness, it's a strength. But when we pretend, try to impress people, live for our image, that puts pressure on us. We have to perform, make sure they think I'm good, I'm strong, I'm talented. Take off the mask. You can be real. What they think of you doesn't really matter. They don't control your destiny.
If you do one thing well, you can still dabble in other things as hobbies in your free time. But if you're trying too many things and not very successful in any of them, you won't enjoy yourself, you won't know any real accomplishment. It is this attitude that invariably brings success.
You know, one of the things that human beings underestimate dramatically is their capacity to get great at something if they're totally immersed in it. Because you are way more powerful than you know you are if you went crazy, psycho, obsessed, laser focused on anything, even something you're totally ill-prepared for.
This life here, this is not me. This is not working for me. I want a way out. I want to do something else. This job, it's not me. Many people are staying where they are, even though the place where they are is not them. When there are major changes that you need to make in your life, and you don't make them, after a while, you become blind to them.
There's a whole generation. Everybody wants purpose. Not very many people want process. I want to encourage you today. Every one of us, we are all just passing through. We are all just going through this life. This place called Earth. I love my life. I'm grateful for life, but I understand this is temporary. I'm living for an eternal perspective. This life is temporary. I want to live my life on mission.
This is a key phrase now to use the rest of your life. You must learn to discipline your disappointment, because you didn't set up the setup, and that is not of your making. Now, if you made gross errors and you ran them off, see, that'd be different. Now, you're responsible for that. But if it's in the normal course of things, this is the way things are.
So when you look at this thing called life, it's about transformation. It's about disruptions and about miracles, because you have miracle working power. Don't judge where your situation is right now, even if you don't have any evidence to the contrary. Judge not according to appearances.
See, that's why you have to have big dreams, because your dreams have to be bigger than all your fears and all your consequences. What makes people go back is you dream too small.
See, your problem in life ain't if you aim too high and you miss it. Your problem in life is if you aim too low and you hit it. That's, you messed up now.
You've got to develop this might be the day attitude. All right? This might be the day. Well, why do you keep coming back? Why do you keep acting so strong? Well, because this might be the day. This might be the day I discover myself. This might be the day I get my breakthrough. This might be the day I fall in love. Right? This might be the day. That's the kind of attitude you've got to have when it comes to looking at what it is that you want. This might be the day.
If you're not eating or mowing your lawn or thinking or working or living better today than you were a year ago, you've got yourself a little problem. Maybe you're hanging on when you should be letting go.
And there are things that happen to us, experiences that we have along the way that prevent us from working through the mental block of acting. And so what I want you to think about, what is there that you know you need to do, that you want to do this, but for some reason or another, you've been holding back. You just have not been able to gather your nerves or putting it off or justifying or blaming. Some reason or another, you just haven't done it.
Climb and maintain. You've got to climb and maintain. If you don't remember anything else I said today, remember climb and maintain. If it's turbulent and there's trouble, go higher. Don't sit there. If the devil is breathing down your neck, he's right where he's supposed to be. But if you want him to flee, just submit to God and resist him, and he's got to flee. I've never seen anybody in the presence of God worshiping and praising, and the devil was able to stay. If you want him to flee, you got to pray and worship. You got to climb and maintain.
Complaining, crying, whining, griping, a Bible word called murmuring. See, that'll ace your future. Spend 5 minutes complaining and you have wasted 5. And you may have begun what's known as economic cancer of the bone. Surely they will soon haul you off into a financial desert and there let you choke on the dust of your own regret. I hope I said that well, so you won't forget. It's a deadly disease. If you don't think it's bad, ask the children of Israel of Old Testament fame. Typical of us all, their story just happened to get in the book. Story says, children of Israel were slaves. God performed a series of dazzling miracles and got them out. And now they're heading for the Promised Land. Remember the story? Heading for the Promised Land. Tragedy of the story, they never got there. Reason, from day one, they started to complain. They griped about the water. They griped about the weather. They whined and cried and griped about the food. They griped about the leadership. They whined and cried because it was too far, too cold, too hot, too difficult, too miserable. I mean, they whined and cried for years. Finally, God said, I've had it, trip canceled. Or something like that. The story says they died in the desert, never got to the promised land. Which I think means two things. Indulge in this long enough, you get your future canceled. And I guess it also means even God himself can only take so much. Okay. Just be on the lookout of the things that can destroy all the good you start. The war is on. And this evening, tomorrow, mentally, personally, socially, economically, you got to make sure you're winning the war. And this is part of it. This is part of it. This is part of it.
Lord, don't you see these circumstances? Lord, do you see the woman you gave me? Lord, do you see this man? Do you see this man, Jesus? Do you see this man? Lord, can you just see this man? Lord, do you see what's going on the job? Do you see what I got to go through with every day? Lord, do you see this paycheck? How am I going to get a house with this paycheck? Lord, do you see? Shut up! In God, circumstances. Circumstances don't matter. Circumstances. Circumstances don't matter. Did I know I got on national Christian television in a storefront with no staff? I had 2 people on staff. That's no staff for television. I got on national television with 1 tape duplicator. I got on national television with $8,000, I think it was, in the bank. You can't pay for a 30-minute show with $8,000. 1 show. I got on national television. Nobody knew who I was. I didn't come from a big church. I didn't come from a big pastor. I didn't even come from a big city. But when God opens up a door, circumstance. Oh, I wish I had some faith in here this morning. I wish I had some faith in here this morning. I wish I had some faith in here this morning. Ah, yeah. Slap your neighbor and tell them circumstances don't matter.
We all have things that we're believing for, dreams that we want to accomplish, problems we're hoping will turn around. Maybe it's to see our family restored, to lose some weight, to break an addiction, to start our own business. But sometimes as it goes on, month after month, even year after year, we don't see anything changing. It's easy to get discouraged and think, it's never going to happen. This is as good as it gets. I'll just learn to live with it. We all go through disappointments, setbacks, loss. Pain is a part of life. It's easy to get discouraged, even bitter. Think, why is this happening to me? Sometimes we look at pieces in our lives that don't make sense. The key is what we do in our times of pain. Pain will change us. Heartache, loss, disappointments, they don't leave us the same. Every painful time, even though you don't like it, it's developing something in you that can only be developed in the tough times. Eventually, that will pass. You'll get through it, but you will be different. In those tough times, when you're uncomfortable, going through a loss, dealing with an illness, you could easily let it overwhelm you. Now, how the pain changes you is up to you. You can come out bitter, or you can come out better. You can come out defeated, giving up on your dreams, or you can come out with a new passion, a new fire, excited about the new opportunities in front of you. I may not like it, but I'm not a whiner. I'm a warrior. I know I can handle this. Don't complain about the pain. Without the pain, we couldn't reach the fullness of our destinies. Sometimes we bring pain on ourselves. We make poor choices, get in a relationship we know is not good, or maybe get over our head in our spending. Now it's painful. We're having to deal with the consequences. All of us experience pain. My challenge, don't just go through it, grow through it. That difficulty is an opportunity to get stronger, to develop character, to gain new confidence. Anybody can give up. Anybody can let it overwhelm you. But you know what that's doing? Wasting your pain. That pain is not there to stop you. It's there to prepare you, to increase you, to develop you. Difficulties are a part of life. Now quit telling yourself you can't take it. You're not weak. You are well able. Eventually the pain will pass. You'll give birth to new strength. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. There will always be forces trying to convince us to settle where we are. Life has a way of pushing our dreams down. They can become buried under discouragement, buried under past mistakes. There are dreams buried under divorce, buried under low self-esteem. It's easy to settle for mediocrity even though we have all this potential buried on the inside. What are you remembering? The hurt, the pain, what didn't work out? Turn it around and remember your dream. Have you allowed any dreams to get buried in you? At one time, you believed you could do something great. You believed you could lead the company in sales. You believed you could break that addiction. And it's been a long time. Had some bad breaks. Wasn't all your fault. You could easily settle where you are. Nobody would fault you. The enemy would love to deceive you into burying your dream, thinking that it's never going to work out. Don't believe those lies. It's not too late to become all that you were created to be. Every time you remember your dream, you're removing some dirt. You're digging it back out. The true mark of a champion is even though some dirt gets thrown on your dream, instead of letting it get buried, you keep shaking it off. You keep moving forward. You wouldn't be having that opposition if you didn't have something great in you. If your dream wasn't alive and on track, right on schedule to come to pass, you wouldn't have so many things coming against you. That dream is still alive. You may have tried a year ago, 5 years ago, or 40 years ago. Didn't work out. Nobody was there to help you. Go back and try again. This is your time. This is your moment. Your destiny is calling out to you. Can I tell you, your dream is not dead. It's just not in season. Your time is coming. Promotion is coming. Good breaks are coming. Promises you've been standing on. Dreams you've been praying about. Lack is not your destiny. Constantly struggling, barely getting by is not the end of your story. These light afflictions are for a moment. The adversity is temporary. The glory is eternal. There are some dreams shut up in you. Like fire, you're going to feel your destiny calling out. May not have happened the first time. The loan didn't go through. You didn't get chosen for the part. The medical report wasn't good. That's okay. It's still in you. This is your time. This is your moment. Shake off the doubt. Shake off the negativity. You're at the right place. You're at the right time. Now all you've got to do is get in the right frame of mind. Lord, I believe this is my year to get healthy and whole. This is my year to meet the people of my dreams. This is my year to go further in my career, to step into a new level of my destiny. This is my year to accomplish dreams, to break free from this depression. This is my year to meet the right people. This is my year to get healthy and whole. This is your year to see double. This is your year for vindication, for restoration, for new beginnings. Now get your mind going in the right direction.
It always comes back to this same thing. The whining, the crying, the bitching, the moaning. I mean, when we bitch about it, when we cry about it, when we whine about it, we're just contributing to the problem. You guys need to start working towards being part of the solution. We need more leaders. And you have to start being a leader. And what I mean by that is bitching, crying, moaning, complaining, that doesn't do anything. How do we stop this epidemic? How do we do that? We do that by starting with ourselves. We do that by setting the example. We do that by making sure that instead of us bitching and whining and crying about things like entitlements and things like making excuses and all this other shit that we all fucking hate, the way we stop these things from happening is by starting with ourselves and stop accepting excuses from ourselves. Stop making excuses for ourselves. Stop our bitching. Stop our whining. Don't tolerate that kind of thing in your life. Cut those people out. Don't give them your attention.
You have to deal with the reality of the situation. Dwelling and pondering and crying doesn't do shit. And it especially doesn't do shit in this echo chamber. In this arena, there is no crying. You can cry, you're just gonna lose. And I have bad news about complaining and crying. Nobody gives a shit.
Why do you keep crying? Why me, God? Why did I get MS? Why did I get cancer? Why did my mama die? Why did I get fired? Do you understand? Listen, you got through that. You got put through that because what that does, that tension produces greatness. Stop running from it and run to it. Stop telling me what you're going through. The greats go through, they get to it, they go through it. And the harder it is, the better.
Don't let me complain about anything ever again. I mean, I don't consider myself a big complainer, but come on. This is just, we have no reason to complain about anything.
Because if you're holding on to things, if you're holding on to excuses, if you're holding on to fear, then there's no faith. Whether you win, whether you lose, don't give up. If you lose, lose. Humble yourself, work harder, and go again. Competition, that's life. Doesn't matter what you got going on. If you're in sports, doesn't matter. Somebody out there is a little bit hungrier than you are, then you got to get a little bit hungrier than them. If something out there that is chasing you and trying to destroy you and bring you down and trying to take everything from you, you got to be greater than the things that is trying to take you out.
And as soon as you realize it's going to be a dogfight. Okay, so let me just say this to you. So in America, right, and I'm sure it's the same thing here, but they're in our armed forces. Let's just pick one, the Navy, for instance. We just pick the Navy, right? Well, let me tell you guys, this is listen to me very closely. The first thing they teach you, somebody over here, help me out. You are in the Navy, right? They're teaching you war, right? What's the first thing they teach you? Boot camp, the very first, somebody jump over here, just take a wild guess. What's the first thing they teach soldiers? Good, courage, okay, this side. Discipline. So give me something practical. What's the first practical thing that they would teach you? Say it again. Defending yourself, somebody over here. How to swim, listen to me very closely. The first thing they teach you, the very first thing they teach you is how to respond when you have a jam gun. And number two, how to carry a dead body. That's the first thing they teach you. They don't teach you how to defend yourself. They don't teach you how to swim. The first thing they teach you is when your gun is jammed. The first thing they teach you is a dead body, how to carry a dead body.
This is your time right now. And it's only a short time. You got a short window. Don't let that window close. Get through it and go after it. Believe in it and understand it, because it's yours. If you're gonna lose, make sure you do it the right way. Quitting is easy. Anybody can do it. If you fail, learn from it and build on it. But don't you give up. Fight, push, dig, and go after it. And make the most of your life. Stand tall and believe in it and work at it each and every day of your life. Let the challenges come. Do whatever you gotta do. And keep it moving.
And somebody tell me, why would they start you there? That's the worst case scenario. That's what you're not prepared for. That's what you're not thinking. You're not thinking when you go out there to defend yourself that your gun is gonna jam. You're not thinking when you go out there that your boy gonna get killed and you gotta drag. You're not thinking that. So listen to me. It's not hardships that hurt us. It's not my cousin getting shot twice. It's not my cousin spending 50 years in jail. It's not my aunt dying of cancer. It's not my wife being diagnosed with 7 lesions on her brain that will break you. What will break most people is you didn't prepare for that. So when you put all your little goals and all your little dreams together, it's not the thing that broke you. It was you never even thought about the fact that you could be broken. You never prepared.
So, again, I'm sorry, I should have made that. I should make that more clearly, and I'm trying to make it more clearly now. And like my parents are good people. They had successful careers as educators in public schools. And my mom eventually went into school administration, and my dad taught in high school for 30-something years. And they were good, hardworking people. And but I'll tell you, they were no extraordinary preachers of discipline. And I'll tell you, I never remember either one of them ever using the term or referring to discipline in any way. And actually both my parents worked. They both worked a lot.
You never prepared for worst case scenario. And the reason why E.T. is standing here, because I'm prepared for it. If you know anything about me, I still lay on floors. I still eat chips off the floor. I still do some stuff that to most people is crazy, like E.T., why would you do that? Because I'm always prepared that we may not live in that house one day. One day something might happen and we might have to go back to that. And if I have to go back to that, it's not gonna break me. And so I present to you a diamond. Most women love them. And most men spend a lot of money on them. I'm gonna say it again. Most women love them. And most guys have to work a long time to be able to get a nice one. The thing we covet the most, for a diamond to be produced, it must first go through extreme heat. Extreme heat. Extreme pressure. Are you hearing what I'm telling you? For a diamond to be produced, it has to go through extreme pressure, extreme heat. And if that wasn't enough, what makes a diamond is the cut. So you are put through, if you want to be a diamond, you must go through extreme pressure. If you can't take pressure, then you're not a diamond.
But when you have a bigger purpose to why you're doing what you're doing, and you want to honor the sacrifices that others have made for you, it's nothing for you to keep going when you hit adversity. If every decision and choice you make is just about you, at a certain point you're going to hit something that's a lot tougher than you, that's going to make you quit because you don't have a driving force for why you do what you do. But when I got up to the University of Tennessee, it was simple. It was simple for me to give everything I had. My freshman year, I played special teams. My sophomore season, I broke the star lineup, had a really strong sophomore season. The summer heading into my junior year, I still remember the day where I was sitting in our film room, and I was watching film on the California Bears. My defensive backs coach, Larry Slade, came in the room. He said, "Inky, I got some good news for you." I dropped the clicker. I said, "What is it?" He said, "Man, you're a projected top 30 draft pick, son." He said, "All you have to do is play the next 10 football games. You're an automatic multimillionaire."
My dad was coaching sports and we're doing after school stuff. My mom, same thing. Like, we were on our own a bunch. My parents were gone in the morning. We got ourselves to school. When we got home in the afternoon, they weren't home. So it wasn't like they were setting up this rigid, disciplined manner for me, right? Yeah. And you can see this with families, many, many different families. There's families that have kids that the parents are very disciplined and the kids are wild and out of control. Sometimes they're problematically so, right? Kids that come from really good families, but they get addicted to drugs, lack of discipline. Kids that come from really good families, but they spin out of control and go in the wrong direction. And there's also the opposite, which is, hey, the parents weren't around, or the parents were abusive, or the parents were drug addicts, and all of a sudden the kid comes out of that and is squared away, is awesome. And we saw that all the time in the SEAL teams. And I've said that before on this program. It doesn't matter where your background is. It's what you decide to do.
Yeah. I went out of the room. I called my mother and my grandmother on the three-way. I said, after this season, there will be no more struggle. I said, we would never miss another meal. I said we would never experience another Christmas where we had to stand on the side of the curb and just be grateful. And I hung it up. First football game, I went out, played great, got an interception, shut Cal down. Second game, we're playing against Air Force, got late in the game, fourth quarter, guy dropped back, he threw the ball to a receiver coming out my sideline. Me and the guy, we went head on. As soon as I hit the guy, I felt as if every breath in my body left. Body went completely limp, fell to the ground, I blacked out. Never happened to me. And my eyes open, I'll never forget, my teammates ran over, they said, "Ink, get up, let's go." I said, "I can't. I can't move." I said, "What do you mean you can't move? You're our lockdown corner, man. We need you. Let's go." I said, "I know, man, but this time I can't move." I flipped my head up to the sky and said, "God," I said, "surely nothing is happening in this moment that can alter my life." They got me over to the hospital. They took me back. They ran CAT scans. They brought me back into my room. And all in a 15-second time frame, the doctor came running in from the opposite side. He said, "Hey, get in there. We got to rush this guy back to emergency surgery. He's about to die."